I had this great lead up of Happy Days, Laverne and Shirley, and then Three's Company just because it was a little naughty.
Suzanne Somers was fired from Three's Company in 1981 for demanding equal pay. What followed was worse. Police led her to a little room. She recorded 1-minute calls alone. Her co-stars avoided her with color-coded scripts. Her Hollywood ban was total. She then did something unexpected. She left for Vegas and changed her life. Ultimately, the lady they tried to ruin became wealthier than them. Suzanne Somers was born October 16, 1946, in San Bruno, California. Her childhood household was poor and chaotic. Her father, a beer truck loader, barely supported the family. They were Irish Catholic and taught not to talk about problems. Being raised by an alcoholic father made Suzanne feel frightened and humiliated. Besides drinking, he was violent. His wrath frightened everyone. Suzanne remembers nights when seeing his car pull into the driveway made her and her siblings hide. Even as teens, they were afraid and wet the bed. This happened repeatedly. It happened nightly. It left permanent scars. Things weren't better at school. In the 1950s, no one knew how to address Suzanne's dyslexia. Without sleep, she couldn't concentrate, and her teachers considered her sluggish. She couldn't understand home life because no one talked about it. She felt that the world had rejected her before she could prove herself. When she was 14, everything fell apart. Her strict Catholic school unearthed notes she made but never mailed to a boy, described as inappropriate. That earned her expulsion. More shame, no questioning, no second chances. She felt unwanted again. Something allowed her to breathe. She found the stage in the darkness. Her HMS Pinafore role was lead. That altered everything. Her Guys and Dolls role earned her an award. She wasn't hiding from her father on stage. She was alert and seen. Her first sense of worth came then. Theater saved her and gave her a cause. She was permanently changed that night. She was 17 and prom-bound. Her mother handmade her clothes, but her father arrived home intoxicated, angry, and tore it off, yelling she was nothing. That moment broke Suzanne. She whacked him in the head with a tennis racket in shock and wrath, first time standing up for herself. Years later, she said that night ignited her. To survive and never be silenced again. She sought escape through study. She attended San Francisco College for Women on a music scholarship, being the first in her family to do so. But freedom was brief. Bruce Somers, her lover, got her pregnant after a few months. That meant marriage in the 1960s. She left school and married Bruce before 19. It was survival, not love. But regret persisted. Her independent ambitions dashed overnight. Instead of music and college, she had diapers and debts. Her son Bruce Jr. was born November 1965. She was barely 19. She loved motherhood, yet felt lonely. The marriage ended. Suzanne was depressed and had an affair with her drama teacher. After Bruce learned, it was over. By 1967, she was divorced and struggling as a single mother. It grew worse. She struggled for money and work. Though helpful, modeling assignments were never enough. She couldn't afford rent by 1970. A $250 check she wrote bounced. This led to her March 1970 arrest. She was jailed in San Francisco on $1,250 bail, 5 times her debt. Her boyfriend saved her, but it shattered her. She had no method to feed her small son. Desperation drove her to act unexpectedly. San Francisco hosted her nude photo shoot. She needed cash. At 23, she told the photographer she feared how her kid would feel seeing the photos. The photographs from the Playboy shoot weren't released right away. Playboy published them after she got renowned from 3. She was shamed. Though it hurt, she did what she had to survive. Never were those photos about fame. They concerned feeding her child. Young single mother Suzanne Somers struggled in San Francisco in 1968. To survive, she modeled and acted in modest roles. She became a prize model on the anniversary game that year. Not a big break, but it paid the bills and changed everything. Canadian TV host Alan Hamel was married. The chemistry between them was evident from their first set meeting. A professional relationship became personal. After Hollywood rejected her, Alan became her husband and business partner, helping her restore her career. All of that was far off in 1968. They were merely two people whose bond had kindled in front of studio lights and behind the scenes. Their affair started discreetly. Alan remained married. Mom Suzanne was broke and raised her son alone. They couldn't distance themselves. Soon, she was pregnant. They made a difficult choice because society was less forgiving, and Alan was still with another family. Suzanne aborted. It was risky and emotionally heartbreaking. Her severe bleeding and illness kept her bedridden for days. That encounter stayed with her. She opened up about her pain, shame, and survival lies years later. She said she was always hiding, manipulating, and blaming herself. That time hardened her, not broke her. She gained strength and vowed to be more honest about herself and her past. She grinded before fame arrived. Suzanne offered handcrafted pastries to restaurants. She handcrafted and consigned small outfits. When hired, she modeled. A burst of screen time opened unanticipated doors. In 1973, she briefly appeared in American Graffiti. She had no lines. Richard Dreyfuss noticed the blonde Thunderbird woman. The end. However, her face and mystery captivated people. That small role caught her eye. Casting agents called. Then came little roles in the Rockford Files. Soon after, she played Chrissy Snow on Three's Company, which made her famous. A few seconds of screen time and a creepy vehicle window smile did it. Even as fame rose, life still hit hard. Bruce, her 6-year-old son, was hit by a car in 1971. He survived, although trauma was severe. Suzanne could not afford pricey treatment, so she found a $1 a week therapist. That therapist saw Bruce, then Suzanne. They slowly recovered week by week. Suzanne didn't only heal from the accident, it was about overcoming her chaotic and abusive childhood and moving forward. $1 a week therapy changed her. She found her voice, regained her confidence, and became an advocate for people in agony. She created a family addiction nonprofit years later. She understood living through it. Suzanne and Alan had endured nearly 10 years of ups and downs by 1977. They'd endured secret meetings, difficult decisions, and public scrutiny. November 19th was their wedding. The Catholic-Jewish ceremony symbolized their diverse backgrounds and future. That wedding started a lifelong love-business partnership. Not only did Alan love Suzanne, he trusted her. He helped her rebuild her career after Three's Company fired her. And he supported her while she launched health products, published books, and hit Las Vegas. They made the Thigh Master famous worldwide. More than money or celebrity, they had each other. For 46 years, they were together. ABC was desperate in 1977. 2 of Three's Company's pilots failed. The right Chrissy Snow actress hadn't been located. At the end, ABC Entertainment President Fred Silverman watched a tape. Saw Suzanne Somers. He recognized her from a quick Tonight Show appearance. Within 24 hours, she got on set. Without second chances or screen tests, just instinct. That instinct was gold. When Suzanne took the job, something clicked. Chrissy was hilarious and electrifying. The show's risque premise was charming and lovable because to her blonde hair, cheery laugh, and innocence. One man pretending to be gay to stay in the apartment, 3 roommates. Bold for the time, it worked. Because of Chrissy and Suzanne, ratings soared. Three's mid-season premiere was TV's highest rated. Suzanne Somers became famous overnight. Her visage graced magazine covers, and her character ruled the program, but there was a sinister side. Suzanne made only $30,000 per episode, while her male co-star, John Ritter, made $150,000. One-fifth. Were both leading. Chrissy may have broken out. However, the difference was huge and expanding. Suzanne abounded. People's Choice Awards, red carpets, talk shows. Yet she got compensated insignificantly. She spoke up. She spoke. She wanted Ritter's pay. Nothing more, just equal. When she did, she was faced with chilly shoulders and stone walls. Her request generated national coverage. News headlines were harsh. Many called her greedy, as if asking for fairness was a crime. But she persisted. Suzanne did more than perform for Three's firm. It was made, built Chrissy from scratch. A shallow stereotype became delightful, insightful, and amusing. Her fans adored it. Critics noted. She won Favorite Female Performer at the 1979 People's Choice Awards and was nominated for a Golden Globe. Chrissy's shriek, physical comedy, and wide-eyed reactions weren't written down. After Suzanne left, the program lost its charm. Her successors never matched her. She was about to face reality anyhow. Suzanne requested a raise in Season 5. She sought $150,000 each episode, Ritter's salary, and a share of the show's revenues. Network promised her $5,000 more. It cost $5,000. Her husband and manager, Alan Hamill, sought to negotiate, but ABC refused. They wanted to communicate. After tough negotiations with Penny Marshall and Cindy Williams on Laverne and Shirley, they didn't want another conflict. This time, they demonstrate. Alan got a scary call. A nun will be hung in the market. The voice said, and Suzanne Somers will be it. ABC was preparing to damage her career by denying her raise. One of the worst TV star takedowns ever occurred. Suzanne wasn't fired yet. Instead, they shamed her. She couldn't attend rehearsals or talk to co-stars. Pretending Chrissy was away caring for her ailing mother, was escorted by cops to a modest set to tape 1-minute phone calls. The set comprised a light, phone, and chair. The end. A comedy queen has one line per episode, alone and silent. Even worse, John Ritter and Joyce DeWitt had color-coded scripts to avoid her. The tribute episode, Farewell and Hugs, were absent. Chrissy Snow vanished silently. Nobody repeated her name. She vanished. The seclusion went beyond set. It followed her around. Co-stars stopped talking to her. She felt abandoned and betrayed. She subsequently stated it was like familial exclusion. She endured that discomfort for years because she wanted to get rewarded like the man on film. In 1981, Suzanne Somers was dismissed, but punishment continued. She was shunned as unpleasant and unappreciative. Hollywood dropped and obliterated her. Friends vanished. Unanswered calls. Like a scandal, producers avoided her. She once admitted public appearance embarrassed her. She lost her identification and her work. She lost her identity without Chrissy Snow. Her husband, Alan Hamill, subsequently said it felt like they were hanging a nun in the market to deter other women from demanding equal pay. She did nothing wrong, except talk. But back then, that was enough to wreck you. She packed and left town without work. In the mid-1980s, she went to Vegas. Most believed she'd quit. Somers was far from done. At the MGM Grand, she headlined. She continued performing at the Las Vegas Hilton after the venue burned down. Every night she sang, danced, and joked on stage for 2.5 years. One show she wore a chicken costume and made fun of herself. Her fans adored her. She won Female Entertainer of the Year in 1986 in Vegas. She and her husband worked hard behind the scenes. Hamill distributed flyers on the Strip to fill seats. Every chuckle or applause was a minor success for her comeback. Her salvation was Las Vegas, a location where being blacklisted didn't matter as long as you could perform. Around then, she began writing. Keeping Secrets was her 1988 debut. It was harsh and real. She discussed her alcoholic father, growing up in a silent, fearful house, raising a child alone, and her guilt after being kicked out of Hollywood. A former sitcom star's vulnerability surprised people, but they related with it. It was a #1 New York Times bestseller. It was even made into a film. Most significantly, Somers had a voice again. She went from dismissed girl to writer, speaker, and influencer. She founded a nonprofit to support addicted families. Her story was more than entertaining. It gave others the confidence to share their pain. That didn't ease things. Somers struggled with sadness and self-doubt. She once commented, "I didn't fit in without Chrissy to define me." Her therapist said she had the lowest self-esteem ever. That was harsh, from someone who owned every room she entered. Her father, siblings, and family history of alcoholism showed her where her pain may go. She didn't follow that path. She wasn't drunk. She didn't spiral. So she went to therapy. She forced herself to understand the sorrow. And she rebuilt something stronger from that suffering. One of her most unexpected turns followed. Somers spent $500 on Manolo Blahniks in the early 1990s. She entered the room in underpants and waited for her husband's reaction. He ignored the shoes, just said, "Great legs." One comment prompted a $1 million idea. She remembered a bizarre exercise device called the V-toner. What it did and how to promote it were unknown. Somers noticed something else. She knew how to sell the Thigh Master after renaming it. First Thigh Master infomercial broadcast, 1991. Sitting in neon spandex, Suzanne joyfully squeezed the device between her legs. "We may not have had terrific legs, but we can appear like it," she said. Not just a product pitch, cultural moment. Women everywhere discussed it. Thigh Master can be used at home while doing laundry or watching TV. Gym unnecessary. Somers made it easy and fun by being herself. Authenticity made all the difference. The findings were ridiculous. They sold 10 million 1995 Thigh Masters in 2 years. Exactly $200 million. Sales exceeded 15 million units, earning nearly $300 million. It continued. Khloe Kardashian later shared about her signed Thigh Master. It still dominated pop culture decades later. The twist: Somers didn't just grin for photos, it was her business. She and her spouse initially partnered 50-50 with another group. Once those partners started spending irresponsibly, the business collapsed. Somers and Hamill acted immediately. Full control was gained by buying out the other half. It was brave and paid off. They created a health empire with Thigh Master funds. Her name is on supplements, skincare, publications, and over 1,000 goods. Somers later estimated her Thigh Master earnings at $300 million. More than a successful shift. Rewriting the rules. Hollywood expelled her, but she developed something bigger. She avoided scripts and studios. She made her own light. Suzanne Somers' 1991 step-by-step portrayal as Carol Foster Lambert was more than a TV stint. She returned to an industry that had expelled her. Three's Company sacked her a decade earlier for demanding equal pay with her male co-star, John Ritter. The ABC show premiered September 20th, 1991. She and Patrick Duffy played newlyweds blending their families. People enjoyed its modern Brady Bunch feel. Redemption, not just a part. She returned to American living rooms as the leader of a new TV family, not Chrissy Snow. The audience warmly greeted her. Once a problem, network executives couldn't ignore her. The ABC TGIF show Step by Step became a hit rapidly. 7 seasons, 6 on ABC and 1 on CBS, produced 160 episodes before concluding in 1998. Television rarely lasts that long, but especially for a Count It Out. The show held its own against Family Matters and Boy Meets World. Somers showed she still had millions of viewers. She thrived after returning. Suzanne continued with her revived television career. Her triumph launched her into greater things. She co-hosted Candid Camera from 1997 to 2000. She entertained new viewers with her charm and humor. Turning fame into business set her apart from other celebs. She represented the Thigh Master. Over 10 million units sold. She wrote 25-plus books. 14 were bestsellers. She created fitness, beauty, and health products. Suzanne built a brand that kept rising in the 1990s when most actresses her age were declining. Life gave her another curveball in 2000. Cancer was found in her breast. What followed? Public and doctors. Suzanne refused chemo. She tried alternative remedies, including mistletoe extract Iscador. Her doctors advised against it, but she persisted. She thought American healthcare was too chemical dependent. She stated excessive chemicalization makes U.S. women the sickest in the world. A vigorous national debate followed the bold statement. Some praised her for speaking up. Others said she promoted hazardous beliefs. But controversy didn't faze her, only fueled her. She spoke more about health and aging. She explained her daily hormone treatment on Oprah, which included vaginal injections and 60 pills. 40 in the morning, 20 at night. Fans were shocked. Medical experts raged. Hormone-sensitive cancer patients were at risk from the therapy. Suzanne persisted. It made her feel young, alert, and alive. Despite the reaction, bioidentical hormones gained popularity. Books flew off her shelves. People listened. Eat Great, Lose Weight, Breakthrough, 8 Steps to Wellness were her books. Her diet allowed people to eat rich foods without counting calories if they followed her food-combining principles. Critics dubbed it garbage science. Doctors said her counsel could damage, but readers liked it. She sold more than books. She sold optimism, vigor, and a new aging. Suzanne publicly supported questionable medical personalities, defended Houston doctor Stanislaw Borzinski, who was fined $380,000 for misrepresenting unapproved cancer treatments. Somers was unfazed. She publicized his work in Knockout. Medical boards warned. Cancer groups criticized her. However, her fans saw her as a daring system critic. Her health brand, Suzanne Organics, sells skincare, vitamins, and chemical-free beauty items in 2019. Her mark was on everything she sold. She stated cancer impacted her life. No more toxins or shortcuts. Her home, body, and business were clean, organic, and intentional. Her brand promised eternal youth, and millions believed. She had everything from anti-aging serums to self-tanning sprays that claimed to promote melanin without sun exposure. There was a tale behind everything. An unlikely woman who defied authority and built an empire. Suzanne met with Joyce DeWitt on her Breaking Through talk show in 2012 after almost 30 years. Their breakup began in 1981 when Suzanne was sacked from Three's Company for demanding equal pay. He stayed on the show. No friendship recovered until then. On air, they hugged, apologized, and discussed the incident. They faced cruelty. But what you've done is incalculable, DeWitt said. Suzanne said she was too focused on business to recognize how much sorrow she had inflicted. Fans were moved by the event, which showed that Hollywood scars can heal. Alan Hamill, Suzanne's husband, supported her through everything.